That thing where you do this.
Scene one, take one.
That's.
Yeah.
I was embarrassed. I remember we were at the hangy uppy, and you were doing that, and I was like, oh no.
Yeah, that's like my move.
I have to leave
like
the scene.
that's my move. So, let's get started.
Yeah, that's horrible.
Welcome to LiveChi TV. What made you think of LiveChi to begin with?
The idea behind LiveChi was I was working as an apartment broker, you know, working with a lot of people who were moving to the city, moving downtown. And, you know, as an apartment broker, you get paid on bringing, you know, renters to their ideal apartment, right? And I really wanted to show people that I was meeting on a daily basis, you know, different parts of the city, different buildings, different floor plans, all the amenities, and kind of the lifestyle you would have, you know, living in Chicago, especially if you're from out of town. So I was doing this stuff on the cell phones, you know, back in 2016, and I knew I couldn't do it myself, right? Because first of all, you know, I'm not the broker. I'm not the guy who's going to go out and do like 1 million showings in a day. I like being behind a computer, behind a camera, creating. So I knew that, you know, I needed to partner with somebody who was equally passionate and shared the same vision. So that's when I was kind of snooping around, creeping around on social media. And that's where I found Stephanie Spinner, who was fresh off the boat from Milwaukee. You took a boat here, right?
Fresh off the train.
Okay, off the train.
Fresh off the train.
Okay.
Choo choo.
Okay. So, you know, so then I saw someone who was like posting a lot on social media. Was back in 2016 around there.
20.
And you were a leasing manager at Marquee, leasing up a big building, and then you made the leap to becoming a broker. And then I'm like, wow, this girl's like super passionate about all she ever posts about is apartments and stuff that's going on in the city. So let me shoot her a DM, slide into her DMs, and then talk about this idea that I had, which is creating a show which features all the luxury rental buildings in Chicago, the lifestyle, what it's like to live there, the different neighborhoods. And yeah, that was basically a one message thing. And what did you?
And my thought process is how it always is, like 50-50. 50% of my brain is like, oh my gosh, this is everything I've ever wanted and everything I've ever dreamed of. Because like it might sound silly, but like I've like $1 million listing is the whole show, everyone on it is in every single season of every city are role models to me. And I rewatched those episodes and I learned a lot. And I'm like, it was the only thing that I would really enjoy watching, and it's educational, but it's also like reality TV. And I was like,
so when I pitched you that idea, you were like,
but at the same, on the other hand, I'm thinking, you know, who is this random guy in my DM? Like, sure, you want to make a show, like, okay, like, what is it gonna, you know, how is it gonna turn out? This is like my reputation. I just became an independent agent, like not on site, and that's reputation is everything. Like, what kind of quality? And you know, I didn't give it a second thought. I just met him for coffee, and that's what I love about Chicago is, you know, opportunities come and go. What?
You met who for coffee?
You and I met at WeWork.
Okay.
At my office at WeWork.
Okay.
I call it a coffee. Pretty sure we had coffee.
Yeah, there's a lot of coffee.
Whiskey.
There's a lot of coffee. There's also beer and other types of beverages.
But it was like 9 a.m. I remember it was like 9 or 10 a.m.
Yeah. But Milwaukee Brewers, and Chicago's a big brewing city, so yeah. So
we had tea and coffee at 9 a.m. at WeWork in the loop, and he's like, "This is my idea." I'm like, "Yes, I hear your idea. I can connect to those, all of those points, and I see your vision." But like, and then you showed me a clip of a pilot, which is a, you know, first episode of something that you were trying to work on, and it was called "Flip That Shit." And I was truly like blown away, and I couldn't believe that this is like one of your first pieces. I'm like, this is probably like his 15th thing. Even if it was your 15th video, like It was an amazing, like it was HD TV quality. And I was like, no way. And I'm like, how can I be lucky enough to, how can we really make this work as a partnership? And I was like, okay, let's go film tomorrow. Let's make this happen. Let's put this video out next week. And you're like,
slow down.
Creativity takes time. And I'm like, no. Like, let's go. Come on. Like, we have to, like, if you want to do this, like, we have to have a schedule and it has to go out by the end of this year. And like, I think it was August when we met, September when we made it like more real. And I wanted to get stuff out like right away. And it wasn't until like a year and a half, or maybe like, about a year and a half later, because I'm a perfectionist and you're a perfectionist and we're on like different levels of that perfectionist scale. And what I love about LiveChi is the cohesiveness of the creativity and the business side of it.
Well, I think where you really took the ball and ran with it was how knowledgeable and how passionate you are about the buildings and living in Chicago and understanding the experience of coming from another city, coming to Chicago and having the comfort, the confidence to pull the trigger on a lease and knowing that whole experience, you know, because you lived it as a professional, you've experienced it with your clients every day. So I think, you know, when it comes to creating a script, an idea for an episode and stuff like that, like you do something that not a lot of people have the energy to do, which is be a producer, put it all together, put together the shot list, you know. Now that's hard to do, that's hard work. And you have a vision and you're not just relying on me as the, you know, the guy who's, you know, shooting and editing the content to do everything. Obviously I add my value, but you know, you're the subject matter expert and I would always lean on you to kind of say, okay, tell me what's hot now. What new buildings hitting the market? You know, why are they priced this way? What's a luxury? Show me some luxury places, right? If I was a ball player, an NBA player, an NFL player, if I was an executive, if I had money, if I wanted to live the best life I can live in Chicago, show me where I would be, right? And we need to showcase that.
Yeah, it's just like, it's just in my blood, I feel like. Like, it's not like I came to Chicago saying, I'm going to be a real estate broker, being able to show any property, like rent and sell to anyone at any time. I looked at Chicago as a city of opportunity, of like a land of 77 neighborhoods. And that each neighborhood to me was like a Milwaukee. Like Logan Square is Milwaukee, like Bucktown is Milwaukee. And I wanted to like conquer it all, meaning I wanted to just know everything about every neighborhood. And that's why I like biking around the city. I truly feel like you get to stop and smell the roses. And you know, a lot of people just drive everywhere and they're cruising around, and that's how Milwaukee is. You cruise everywhere, you just try to get as fast as you can from commute to commute. But when you stop and look around and you have the second, because you in Chicago, you walk, you bike, it's faster, and you get to enjoy the little things, and then it makes like just life happier. And I think
so let me stop you. What was the moment you decided to become a Chicagoan, to move from Milwaukee, come to Chicago?
I don't want to forget about my Lakeview experience too. So I didn't have a moment that I knew.
You had a moment.
So yeah, I guess it was, I don't know if it was like Christmas of 2014 or if it was the same Christmas that I just made those moves, but it was like, I moved here in January of 2016 and started at Marquee February 1st of 2016, and I made that decision like 2 months before that in around Christmas of 2015. And I remember it was like that year, the year before, and we were like driving or going on the train back to Wisconsin, and my friend, one of my best friends at the time, was just like, how are you not living in this city right now? Like, this is you. Like, you're so close to home. Like, why aren't you living here? Like, you know? And I was just like, why am I not living here? Like, why am I still living in Milwaukee? Like, all I wanted to do when I finished college was leave Milwaukee to have like just a different life. And I always thought it would be a warm life, but like, this is home. Chicago is home. It's so dynamic. It's so diverse. It's so cultural. And I love all the different personalities of the different neighborhoods.
And that's the major debate that people have when coming to Chicago and moving downtown.
Yeah.
Like, why are you going to move downtown? You have such a small place. It's so expensive. Like, there's other areas of Chicago where, you know, you get a lot more space for your buck. Like, why high rises? Why?
Yeah, I mean, I ask my clients, like, first question is, like, what's most important to you?
Yeah.
You know, what's most important to you in the new home? And from there, I tailor the decision, the options that I send to them based on the first thing they say to me. Dog, like, I'm sending them only options that are in neighborhoods that are dog friendly. And so for me, it's like a matchmaking service in a fun way. And the more and more I uncover and learn, which isn't a matter of a 5 to 15 minute phone call, it's just like so fun to me. And I feel like I can like read people very quickly, but at the same time, it's even more fun when I think I have figured someone out, and then I'm like, oh, this is, you actually like this and not this, and then it's a challenge, and then it becomes even more fun to like find this perfect place. I'm tailing.
So how does video and what LiveChi provides, how does it play into helping people arrive at that decision?
I just want to backtrack a little bit, because talking about the creation of LiveChi, like, you had your vision, and I watched $1 Million Listing for the last like 20 years, like at least 16 years. I'm pretty sure it's been on TV. And I just looked because I'm like, oh my God, it's been on TV for 16 years. 16 years I've been watching this show and just picturing myself being Ryan Serhant, being Frederick Eklund, these top producers of New York, but not like necessarily selling real estate. And that is LiveChi. It's like, what is it really like to live in New York? What is it really like to live in Chicago the way that all Chicagoans live? Like, so many Chicagoans prefer, like, Chicago to me is high-rise living, and high-rise living is like a city within a city. Like, you have this vertical city within, it's like a little mini city within a city, and when it's cold outside, you don't ever have to leave that little mini city.
We know what people want in an apartment, in a lifestyle, when they come to Chicago, right? I knew it as a broker when I was a broker. You know it, because you lived it. And as a professional who just, you know, brings people to all these buildings for a living, you know. So how does video production play into that whole value that we're trying to bring to the industry?
Yeah, I think it truly like opens up your eyes and tells you the real story of what it's like to truly live at X building or X neighborhood. Like, it truly shows the lifestyle and not just the finishes of the unit of a box of an apartment. It's like, what am I gonna feel like when I live there? You know, the video production, I hope it makes you feel some sort of way that when my clients, like, I had a client today and he's like, well, what do you think is the best one for me? And I'm like, it's always a tricky question. And I'm like, but you have to feel it, that energy you feel when you step into the room. I think that with particular video production, with the right creative video production, you can allow the viewer to feel that feeling right there in their own home, like scratch and sniff, you know, like they get to feel it right there of like what it's like to live not just in that building, but I tell them like, okay, you saw this episode of this particular building in this neighborhood, but now you know like a glimpse of that neighborhood too. It's not just like that building.
Yeah, I mean, I think you hit the nail on the head. So for me, the experience of having that view in the morning, that whether you have a sunrise, southeast exposure, seeing the skyline, from the moment you wake up, right, to the moment you go get your cup of coffee, whether you do it at home or in an amenity space or that spot down the street, to where you start your workday, whether it's in your kitchen island, whether it's in the amenity rooftop of a luxury apartment building, or whether it's, you know, you have to commute to work. Telling the whole story, I think, is everything that I strive to produce and you strive to produce with LiveChi. And it's something that you don't really see anywhere else. I mean, yeah, you can see photos of units. You can see, you know, maybe a few videos here and there, but you don't really get that experiential kind of feeling of what it's like to live in downtown Chicago, right?
Yeah, I feel like LiveChi allows you to have this like really true immersive experience of like this virtual reality that like makes you feel like, oh, I am Stephanie Spenner, like that is me, and that's what I want you to feel, is like you are me, I am my audience, and this is how you're going to live your day-to-day life in this neighborhood, in this building specifically. And these are all the conveniences of like living right here, right now, and why it all makes sense. Like people think, oh, it's going to be more expensive to live in this building, but like, no, the rents are like the same, if not maybe better price to have all these amenities. You don't pay extra for having a pool and a gym and whatever. Everything is bundled together, and it's just like the ultimate convenience.
Those are the kind of experiences that you need to demonstrate, because, you know, a lot of the way that rental buildings are marketing themselves is, here's an exterior photo of the building, here's a few interior photos of model units, and that's it. And here are the floor plans. And that's missing the mark by a mile, because at the end of the day, yeah, I don't care what building you're in or how high end it is. It's a vanilla box. It's a vanilla box. It's got white walls, it's got hardwood floor, it's got floor to ceiling windows. So what really differentiates you know, living in a building in Old Town Park versus a Gold Coast building versus South Loop? That's what you're really selling, you know. And I know that there's, you know, as a real estate professional who's licensed, who's a professional broker or a leasing agent, they have to stay, you know, within the boundaries of describing the property and not so much about the neighborhood. But there's a lot that you can say about the neighborhood. There's a lot that you can say about the conveniences you get, whether it's like a Mariano's, a Whole Foods, you know, high-end grocery stores, you know, awesome restaurants and nightlife, activities. Is it by the beach? Is it by transportation? There's all this stuff that people really care about. And if people are asking questions and you're on a home tour, apartment tour, and people are asking those questions, what better way to answer those questions than through a video that's, say, 10 minutes, that's fun and engaging and exciting, and that's where the LiveChi concept comes from, right? That's all it's supposed to do. That's all it's supposed to do. So why do buildings come to us to say, hey, help us get our message out? Because, you know, you look at a rental building, a high-res rental building, buildings you work with, let's say Amley 808, let's say Randolph Tower, you know, there's this building that's, you know, tens of millions, maybe hundreds of millions of dollars have gone into developing, architecting, designing this living experience, and all this sweat and, you know, labor has gone into creating this awesome place to live. They need an audience. They need a way to attract residents, people who want to live there and build a community there. So where is the missing piece? And how does, like, you know, what you do?
They need their own story too. Right. And I think like that's something super special that like Full Bars Media taught me, and creating truly what LiveChi is today is storytelling. Rather
than a building saying, here's why we're awesome, the message should be, here's how we make you more awesome. Here's how we make your experience living in Chicago, getting to work, doing work at home, inviting your friends, inviting your family, you know, as great as it can possibly be, you know. I take this for example. Let's say you're marketing for Weber Grill, right? You're doing an ad for Weber Grill, those grills that you have in your backyard. What are you selling? Are you selling the materials? Are you selling the iron that it's made from? What are you selling at the end of the day?
I'm selling the experience.
Well, yeah, you're selling
exactly what I was just
you're selling the family and the friends in the backyard having a good time with music. They're grilling you know, awesome food, delicious food. That's what you're really selling. You're not selling a piece of a hunk of metal, right?
The emotion that's tied to it, exactly. The feeling.
So that's what's missing in the industry right now. That what we're providing is what's the experience of living
feeling.
in
the feeling.
Okay,
the
okay, you have quartz countertops. So what? Okay, you have
no
plank wood
emotion tied to that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all about the experience. Like, okay, I'm brand new to Chicago. Like, I can choose from 200 apartment buildings in the city, but I'm brand new and I'm like super social and like I really want to meet people. Like, do I do this one or that one or these 200 ones? Like, it's truly about like the experience of each, like the experience in general, the lifestyle each building provides, but then also like the personality that each building and neighborhood has that can like fit with the right person.
Thanks for watching LiveChi. If you want us to cover a particular apartment building in Chicago, hit us up in the comments. And if you're looking to find a great deal on an apartment this year, hit up Stephanie at livechi.tv. See you on the next one.